Welcome to the realm of science fiction. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Enjoy listening. Mike Fletcher sat at his desk past midnight, deeply engrossed in a project. A workaholic biotechnologist, Mike was no stranger to the long hours and the toll they took on his body. His muscles ached from sitting too long, and his back protested every time he leaned forward. Needing a break, he stood up, brewed himself a cup of coffee, and moved to his armchair, hoping to ease the discomfort. But as he stretched out, the radio emitted a faint crackle, and the room lights began to flicker. Seconds later, the electricity cut out completely, plunging the house into darkness. Frustrated, Mike groaned and got up, heading toward the circuit breaker. As he approached, a faint noise caught his attention, originating from the living room. Turning his head slightly, he caught a glimpse of an unusual glow outside the window. His brows furrowed in disbelief. "Is this some kind of joke?" he muttered, walking back toward the living room. There, in the center of the room, stood a shimmering figure enveloped in a radiant light. As the figure became clearer, Mike realized it was a woman. Her skin emitted a soft luminescence, and her eyes sparkled like stars. Just as suddenly as it had disappeared, the electricity came back on, bathing the room in warm light. Startled, Mike backed away and stammered, Who are you?" The woman stepped closer, her movements calm and deliberate. Without a word, she took the coffee cup from Mike's trembling hands and placed it on the nearby table. "Who I am is not as important as why I'm here," she said, her voice smooth yet commanding. "Listen to me carefully and do exactly as I say." She reached into a small pouch and produced a vial containing a golden liquid. Holding it out toward Mike, "This," she began, "is the key to surpassing the limitations of the human body. You're not sick yet, but you will be. Meeting me tonight is no coincidence." Mike's eyes darted between the woman and the vial, his mind racing. "This has to be a dream," he muttered under his breath. "Who sent you? What kind of prank is this?" The woman's expression didn't waver. "This is no prank. You may choose to trust me or not, but you must act quickly. If you don't drink this now, it will soon be too late." Her gaze was unwavering, her tone firm, yet oddly reassuring. Mike hesitated, his skepticism battling an inexplicable pull toward her. "Why should I trust you? I don't even know what's in that thing," he exclaimed. The woman replied with a faint smile. "I don't possess the capacity to lie. But the choice is yours." Against his better judgment, Mike found himself taking the vial. The woman's piercing gaze and an unshakable sense of intuition drove him to uncork it. He downed the liquid in one swift motion, grimacing at the strange warmth spreading through his stomach. Moments later, the room seemed to tilt, and his body felt weightless. Mike braced himself for a fall, but instead, a sense of liberation swept over him, a freedom he couldn't put into words. The woman observed him quietly before speaking. "This elixir doesn't just heal, it expands your mind. You are no longer an ordinary man. But this gift comes with a price." Mike's eyes, now wide with newfound clarity, locked onto hers. "How is this even possible? Who are you? How did you get here?" he demanded. She stepped closer, her glowing eyes holding his gaze. "My name is Lyra. I came because of you, Mike. In my galaxy, we can sense the energy of exceptional minds, and yours stood out. People like you are rare. When I felt your energy, I knew I had to meet you." Mike shook his head, still trying to process her words. "Me? I'm just an ordinary guy. My life revolves around work and home. There's nothing special about me." Lyra reached out and gently placed a hand on his shoulder, sending a warmth coursing through him. "You're far from ordinary, Mike. You have a significant role to play in this world. You may not understand it yet, but in time you will." Her voice, soothing and melodic, resonated with something deep within Mike. As he gazed into her eyes, he saw galaxies swirling, an infinite expanse of possibilities. Unconsciously, he stepped closer. "Lyra, is this real? Or am I losing my mind?" he whispered. A gentle smile played on her lips. "You feel it, don't you? Just trust the feeling, Mike." The air between them grew electric. Lyra leaned in, her fingertips brushing against his face. All his aches and pains vanished in an instant, replaced by an overwhelming sensation of renewal. Their lips met, and for a brief moment, time seemed to stand still. When the kiss ended, Lyra looked into his eyes with a serious expression. "I want you to come with me, Mike. I want you to see the galaxies I call home. There's so much I need to show you." Mike hesitated, his logical mind clashing with the allure of her words. "I can't," he finally said. "My work here is too important. I've dedicated my life to helping people. I can't just abandon it." A shadow of disappointment crossed Lyra's face, but she quickly masked it with a soft smile. "I understand, Mike. This is your decision." Later that night, as Mike lay in bed, exhaustion washing over him, Lyra approached him silently, holding another vial. Mike noticed the object just as his eyes were beginning to close. "What's that?" he asked groggily. "This will enhance the effects of the first elixir," Lyra explained. "It will help your body reach its full potential." Mike eyed the vial warily. "You're not trying to do something to me, are you? I want to trust you. But this is all so strange." Lyra raised her hands in a gesture of innocence. "I only want to help you, Mike. Please, trust me." After a moment's hesitation, Mike gave in, taking the vial and drinking its contents. The transformation was immediate. A surge of energy coursed through him, his mind flooded with new ideas and perspectives. He turned to Lyra, his eyes alight with determination. "Galaxies, you said? Take me there. Show me everything," he said with conviction. Lyra's smile widened, triumphant yet tender. "I knew you were special, Mike. Are you ready?" The brilliant flash of light engulfed Mike and Lyra, leaving the familiar world of Earth behind. When the light subsided, Mike found himself standing in a vast, glimmering chamber. The walls seemed alive, pulsing gently, with a bioluminescent glow that reflected hues of violet, gold, and azure. The air felt lighter, almost electric, and a faint hum resonated in the distance, like the melody of a song from another realm. Mike's breath hitched as he took in the sight. "Where are we?" he managed, his voice barely above a whisper. Lyra stepped forward, her expression soft yet proud. "Welcome to the Nexus Sphere. This is the gateway between galaxies, a place few have ever seen." She turned to Mike, her eyes glinting with excitement. "And now, Mike, it's part of your reality." Mike ran his fingers through his hair, overwhelmed yet fascinated. "This is unbelievable. It's beautiful," he said, his voice laced with awe. Lyra smiled warmly, her luminescent skin reflecting the chamber's glow. "And this is just the beginning. Come," she said, extending her hand. "There's so much more I want to show you." Mike hesitated for only a second before taking her hand. Her touch sent a surge of warmth through him, calming his nerves and igniting a spark of something deeper, something unspoken but undeniable. They stepped onto a floating platform, and with a soft hum, it began to move. The chamber opened into a sprawling view of the cosmos. Stars sparkled like diamonds scattered across an endless velvet canvas. Nebulas swirled in vibrant colors, their intricate patterns mesmerizing. Below them, planets of every size and hue orbited gracefully around twin suns. It was a sight Mike could scarcely comprehend, and yet he felt an inexplicable sense of belonging. "This is your galaxy?" Mike asked, his voice filled with wonder. Lyra nodded. "One of many. I've traveled far and wide, but this," she gestured to the breathtaking view. "This is home, and now it can be your home too." Mike turned to her, his eyes searching hers. "Why me, Lyra? Out of all the people on Earth, why did you choose me?" Lyra hesitated, her gaze softening. "Because you're different, Mike. Your mind, your energy, it resonates with something deep within me. From the moment I sensed you, I knew you were meant for something greater. And now that I've met you," she paused, a flicker of vulnerability crossing her face. "I feel like I've found something I didn't even know I was searching for." Mike's heart skipped a beat. Her words were sincere, carrying a depth that left him speechless. He reached out, gently cupping her face. "Lyra," he said softly, "I don't know what's happening to me. Being here, being with you, it feels like I've stepped into a dream I never want to wake up from." Their eyes met, the distance between them vanishing once more. Mike leaned in, their lips meeting in a tender yet fervent kiss. The universe around them seemed to pause, as if the stars themselves bore witness to their connection. When they pulled apart, Lyra's cheeks glowed faintly, a sign of her species' emotions. "You have no idea how long I've waited to feel this," she murmured, her voice barely audible. Mike smiled, his fingers brushing against hers. "Then let's make it worth the wait." The days, or what passed for days in the endless expanse of space, were filled with discovery and shared wonder. Lyra introduced Mike to her world, showing him its vibrant cities suspended in the sky, its lush, otherworldly landscapes, and the advanced technologies that blended seamlessly with nature. She taught him about her people, their culture, and their deep connection to the cosmos. In turn, Mike shared stories of his life on Earth, his work, his dreams, and his struggles. They laughed, teased, and found comfort in each other's company, their bond growing stronger with each passing moment. One evening, as they floated in an open spacecraft beneath a canopy of stars, Lyra turned to Mike. "Do you ever regret it? Leaving your world behind?" Mike shook his head, his gaze fixed on her. "Not for a second. Earth was my home, but here, with you, I've found something I never thought I'd have. A purpose. A partner." Lyra's eyes shimmered with emotion. "You've changed me, Mike. I've spent my life traveling the galaxies, but I never truly felt like I belonged anywhere. Until now." Mike reached for her hand, intertwining their fingers. "Then let's make this our journey. Together." And so, their love story unfolded across the stars. They explored distant galaxies, solved ancient mysteries, and faced challenges that tested their strength and unity. Through it all, their love remained unshaken, a beacon of hope in the infinite cosmos. As they stood together on the edge of a shimmering nebula, watching a dying star collapse into a brilliant supernova, Mike turned to Lyra and whispered, "This universe is vast and infinite, but with you by my side, it feels like home." As the brilliant light of the supernova faded into the quiet expanse of space, Mike and Lyra remained still, wrapped in the warmth of each other's presence. The stars around them seemed to pulse with approval, as if the universe itself acknowledged their connection. Lyra turned to Mike, her luminous eyes soft with affection. "There's something magical about moments like these," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "It reminds me that even in the face of endings, beauty and new beginnings can emerge." Mike nodded, his gaze never leaving hers. "Like us," he murmured, brushing a strand of her glowing hair away from her face. "I never imagined my life could change so completely. And now, here I am, standing with you on the edge of forever." Lyra smiled, her hand resting against his chest, feeling the steady rhythm of his heart. "You've given me something I never thought I could have," she said softly. "Love. It's not something my kind usually experiences, not in the way your people do. But with you, it feels infinite." The silence that followed was filled with unspoken promises. They both knew their bond was extraordinary, a union of two souls from vastly different worlds, but inexplicably drawn together by fate. In the weeks that followed, Mike and Lyra built a life together aboard her ship, the Aurora Vale. The vessel was a marvel of alien engineering, its interior a blend of organic and technological elements. The walls shifted colors with their moods, and the air carried a faint, calming fragrance. Lyra introduced Mike to the ship's capabilities, from its advanced navigation systems to its ability to generate holographic simulations of any environment. They spent evenings recreating Earth's landscapes, from serene beaches to bustling cityscapes, allowing Mike to share pieces of his home with Lyra. In return, Lyra revealed hidden corners of the universe, taking him to planets with crystal forests, bioluminescent oceans, and skies painted in shades no human had ever seen. One night, as they floated in zero gravity within the ship's observation chamber, Lyra wrapped her arms around Mike, pulling him closer. "I have something to show you," she whispered, her breath warm against his ear. The chamber dimmed, and the walls transformed into a breathtaking projection of a distant galaxy. At its center was a vibrant star, surrounded by swirling rings of light and matter. "This is Erythra," Lyra explained, her voice filled with reverence. "It's where my people believe life first began. It's sacred to us, a symbol of unity and creation." Mike gazed at the galaxy, his hand tightening around hers. "It's beautiful," he said, awestruck. "Just like you." Lyra's eyes shimmered, her lips curving into a smile. "You have a way of making me feel like I belong, Mike," she said. "For the first time in my life, I feel like I'm truly home." Their love deepened with each passing day, their connection unshaken by the challenges they faced. On one mission, they encountered a rogue asteroid field that threatened to obliterate a colony Lyra had sworn to protect. Working together, they devised a plan to divert the asteroids using the Aurora Veil's advanced technology. Mike's ingenuity and Lyra's unwavering determination proved to be an unstoppable combination, saving thousands of lives. After the mission, as they stood on the colony's surface, watching the grateful inhabitants celebrate their safety, Mike turned to Lyra. "We make a pretty good team," he said, his voice filled with pride. Lyra leaned into him, her head resting against his shoulder. "We do," she agreed. "You've brought out a strength in me I didn't know I had." One evening, under the light of twin moons on a distant planet, Mike took Lyra to a secluded clearing surrounded by glowing flowers. He had spent days preparing, with the help of the ship's AI, to make the moment perfect. As Lyra admired the ethereal beauty of their surroundings, Mike dropped to one knee, holding a delicate ring crafted from a rare mineral they had discovered together. The ring glowed faintly, its light reflecting the colors of the nebulae they had explored. "Lyra," he began, his voice steady but filled with emotion, "you've shown me a universe I never knew existed. But more than that, you've shown me what it means to truly live and love. I don't want to explore this vast cosmos with anyone but you. Will you marry me?" Lyra's eyes filled with tears, their luminescence shimmering like starlight. She knelt down to meet him, her hands cupping his face. "Yes, Mike," she whispered, her voice trembling with joy. 1,000 times yes? Their embrace was timeless, their love a beacon in the endless expanse of the cosmos. As they kissed, the glowing flowers around them seemed to bloom brighter, as if the planet itself celebrated their union. The soft hum of the alien breeze carried a melody that felt ancient, a song sung by the universe to bless their bond. When they finally pulled apart, their foreheads rested together, and they both smiled, a shared understanding passing between them. Lyra's hand lingered on Mike's chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart. "Mike," she whispered, her voice soft but filled with conviction, "this is only the beginning for us. There's so much more I want to share with you." Mike held her close, his fingers brushing her luminous hair. "Then let's explore it all. Together." The next phase of their journey was one of discovery, not just of the universe but of each other. They spent days charting unknown star systems, navigating asteroid fields that glittered like shattered glass, and landing on planets that defied the imagination. One such planet, Etheris, became a special place for them. Its surface was covered with crystalline lakes that reflected the sky, which was perpetually bathed in hues of violet and gold. The planet's air was alive with a soft musical hum, and its gravity was light enough to make them feel as though they could almost float. On Etheris, they often camped under its twin moons, lying side by side on soft patches of luminous moss. It was here that they shared their deepest fears and dreams. Lyra confessed the loneliness she had felt as a wanderer, always searching for something she couldn't name until she found Mike. And Mike, in turn, spoke of the weight of his past life on Earth, where he had always felt like something was missing. "You've given me a sense of purpose I never knew I needed," Lyra said one night, her voice barely audible over the gentle rustling of the alien wind. "With you, I'm not just exploring galaxies, I'm discovering myself." Mike turned to her, his hand finding hers in the starlit darkness. "And you've shown me a world beyond anything I could have dreamed. I'm not just living, I'm alive." Their love was put to the test when they encountered a distress signal from a nearby system. A colony on the planet Solistra was under threat from a massive solar storm that had disrupted its energy shields. The colonists, a mix of Lyra's kind and another humanoid species, were in desperate need of help. Lyra and Mike worked tirelessly to stabilize the colony's systems. While Lyra used her advanced knowledge of alien technology, Mike's human ingenuity and quick thinking proved invaluable. Together, they repaired the shields just as the first waves of the solar storm struck. In the aftermath, as the grateful colonists celebrated their survival, Mike watched Lyra interact with her people. Her grace, intelligence, and strength captivated him anew, and he realized that their bond was not just romantic. It was a partnership built on mutual respect and admiration. That night, as they stood on a balcony overlooking the restored colony, Mike wrapped his arms around Lyra from behind. "You're incredible," he murmured into her ear. "I'm in awe of you every day." Lyra leaned back into him, a contented smile on her face. "We make a good team, don't we?" "The best," Mike agreed, pressing a kiss to her temple. As their love deepened, they began to dream of building a home together, a place where they could return after their adventures, a sanctuary amid the stars. Lyra suggested a planet called Elindra, a lush world with floating mountains, cascading waterfalls, and skies alive with auroras. They spent weeks creating their home, blending earthly comforts with Lyra's advanced technology. The result was a haven that felt uniquely theirs, a place where their love could flourish. In the evenings, they would sit on the veranda of their home, watching the auroras dance across the sky. They often talked about the future, imagining what it might hold. "Maybe one day we'll share this place with others," Lyra mused, her gaze soft as she rested her head on Mike's shoulder. "Others?" Mike teased, raising an eyebrow. "Are you saying you want a family?" Lyra laughed, the sound like music to Mike's ears. "Maybe. Who knows what the future holds? All I know is I wanted to be with you." Mike kissed her forehead, his heart full. "Always," he promised. Their love story became legendary, whispered among travelers across galaxies. They were known not only for their daring adventures and the lives they saved, but for the bond they shared, a love that transcended species, space, and time. And as they stood together on the balcony of their home, watching the universe stretch out before them, they knew that no matter where their journey took them, they would always have each other. For in a universe vast and infinite, their love was the one constant, a light that would burn forever, illuminating their path through the stars.